Chapter 17. The Third Seal. The third rune was no longer flickering. It burned steady now. Dim, yes, but constant. Like it had stopped hesitating. Like it knew she was going to touch it. Decima didn't move yet. She stood before the gate, breathing carefully, her hand hovering just above the mark. The heat coming from it wasn't violent, it was expectant. Not a command, not a threat, a welcome. Cassian gritted his teeth and stepped forward. That's enough. You've opened 2 already. That's more than anyone has since the council sealed this place. She's not done, Sarenfay said, her voice firm and even. Cassian turned to her. You don't understand what this could do? No, the dragon cut in, her eyes glowing. I understand more than you ever will. Cassian hesitated. He looked at Decima again. If you do this, you don't just open a door. You cross a line that can't be undone. Decima met his gaze. I crossed that line the day I was born. Then she turned back to the gate. The rune pulsed once, and from beneath the earth, the voice came again, clearer, stronger. It didn't say, unseal me this time. It said her name. Decima. Her name echoed through the stones. Not shouted, not whispered, spoken, as though it belonged here, as though it had always belonged. Daniel's presence pressed in close, steady at her back. He reached for her hand, his grip grounding. Whatever happens, I'm right here, he said, his voice low, eyes never leaving her face. Decima's breath caught in her throat. She pressed her hand to the third rune. Unlike the others, this one didn't burn. It was cold, startlingly so, like ice laid over fire. It resisted at first, and she thought it might reject her. Then it shifted and pulled. Darkness swallowed her again, but this time it wasn't like falling. It was like entering, like stepping into the breath between worlds. She stood on scorched ground. Ash drifted in the sky like snow. Ahead, a mountain rose, but it wasn't stone. It was scale, red, wounded, enormous. The dragon lay coiled, breathing slow, each exhale causing tremors through the soil. Its eye opened, and the world tilted. You carry fire not given. But returned, it said. Decima swallowed hard. Who are you? The first flame. The one who chose too early. The one who loved too much. She stepped closer, unable to stop herself. Why me? Because your soul remembered mine before you were born. The dragon blinked once, and with it came a flash of her own reflection. Not now, but future. Scales along her arms, wings unfolding behind her in firelight, a roar that shattered the sky. Then the dragon said only one thing more. You may open the gate, but you will never be only yourself again. She gasped awake. The stone beneath her hand cracked, and the third rune shattered, not broken, opened. From deep beneath the soil, the earth rumbled. Something moved. The ground thundered. A low, groaning sound rumbled up through the trees, shaking loose dead leaves and sending birds screaming from the canopy above. The moss underfoot rippled, like something beneath the forest was shifting in its sleep. Cassian was already pulling Decima to her feet. What did you do? She could barely speak. It wasn't me. Daniel's arms caught her, steadying her, his heartbeat frantic where their chests touched. I felt you go cold, he whispered. Like the bond froze for a second. The third rune on the gate still glowed, but now it pulsed like a heartbeat. Fast. Loud. It echoed in her chest. Sarenfay let out a sharp, wordless roar and spread her wings wide, shielding all of them as a crack split the earth beside the gate. Light, not fire, but golden white, erupted from it and shot skyward like a beacon. Cassian turned his head, shielding his eyes. Every witch within 100 miles just saw that. Sarenfay pressed her body lower to the ground, eyes fixed on the gate. Something is rising. Not just power, memory. Another crack raced across the stones, and a gust of heat burst from beneath, lifting Decima's hair off her shoulders. The shard in her chest pulsed once, twice, then settled. Still glowing, but no longer flaring wildly. Cassian gritted his teeth. That's not just a gate anymore. It's a signal. Decima looked up at the sky. The beam of light was already fading. But somewhere out there, someone had seen it. And whatever was buried below the forest was no longer silent. The beam of light faded into the clouds. Silence followed. Not the peaceful kind, but heavy, humming with the echo of what had just happened. The forest didn't move. Not a single bird called. Even the wind seemed to wait. Decima stood before the stone gate, her hand still tingling from the third rune. But the glow had faded now. Not extinguished, absorbed. The shard in her chest was calm, almost quiet, but she could still feel something behind it. Breathing. Something had changed. Cassian moved beside her, not speaking for a long time. Then he said, "From this point forward, nothing is hidden. Not from them. Not from it. And definitely not from you." Daniel squeezed her hand, fingers tight. "Whatever happens, we face it together." Decima didn't argue. She felt it too. There was no turning back. The gate wasn't open, not fully, but the seal was broken. The first one. The one that mattered. Sarenfay lowered her head close to Decima's shoulder, her voice low in her mind. "You are no longer only bound to me. Something else walks beside your fire now." Decima looked down at her hands, the faintest shimmer beneath her skin, like threads of light laced through her veins. Not golden, not red. Something older. Something deeper. She wasn't soul-bound to another dragon. Not yet, but a choice had been made. And somewhere beneath the forest, that dragon was no longer asleep.